Cabin in the Woods.
I don't know if I want to go to Ted Kaczynski route, but the cabin in the woods looks awfully, awfully inviting. Good morning, Michael Knight.
Now, do you want snow in the woods too? Or do you want snowless woods?
I could go back and forth on that one. I like the idea of snow in the woods, but I don't want to walk through it.
Also, it has a tendency to freeze over. And then
Yeah,
you're not dealing with snow, you're dealing with ice.
yeah. See, I'm getting. Now, I haven't made this announcement yet, but I'm getting kind of done with snow that I have to live with. If I can drive up to the snow,
And then drive away.
experience the snow, and then come back to a non-snow experience, I think I'm good with that. I don't want to shovel it. I don't want to drive in it anymore. I don't want to. I mean, I really. It feels like it's pointing me toward California.
Well, apparently Californians are leaving California in droves, so says the LA Times. I don't know where they're going, and I don't know how happy they're going to be when they get there. Trouble with leaving California is when you get to where you're going, you're not in California anymore. And if you thought that Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio were going to be just like California, except cheaper with cool people and lots of fun things to do. What made you think that?
No, it's a
What made you think that? And that's not the case. So um, Californians are welcome to leave California in droves. There's plenty of us. I'm sure we'll miss you, but we won't miss you.
well. We tend to forget, Michael, because every place has become so mean. How unwarm and unwelcoming some places can be in this country. I remember when I left New York, and the grass is greener. Boom, you leave New York and you go places and you find out that there's a lot of people in this country that don't like you when you're from New York or California.
And of course, they've never been to either place. They
Right. They have
just
no
don't
idea
like
what
you.
it's all about. They just know that, which is in so many ways asinine.
It's the perfect argument. I hate you. Why? Because I've never met you and I've never been to where you're from, and I hate where you're from. It's
Now,
it's it's a world. It's a world being created tweet by tweet by Elon Musk, the hate world.
right. And see, the point that's missed about California has become different about California, I guess. It's that it's a place where many different types of people can go kind of coexist with each other. You know, I know it's changed since I got there, but you live your life, I'll live my life, and we'll meet in a hot tub.
We'll
You
meet
know,
at the Korean restaurant. Is what it all boils
yeah,
down
meet
to.
at the Thai place when there was only one Thai place in town. Where do you try to get Chinese out in Shamrock, Texas? Oh,
Just wait till you try that. Now there's the song that should be try that don't try that in my town.
exactly.
You can't get Thai
That's
food, you can't get Chinese food, you can't get food.
that's when you're going to run into trouble. When you find out that everything closes at 8 o'clock at night. Well, that's like up here though in some place, but or your
It
only
is like that.
choices for food are Applebee's and Denny's and anything else that ends in the E's. Or
I I clearly remember when I first moved to Wenatchee. I wasn't on the area and it was Halloween. And I thought, well, I'll go down and check out the main drag, Wenatchee Boulevard, Wenatchee Avenue. And I had taken a nap that day and I woke up at 8 o'clock, got dressed and said, I'm going to go check out the Halloween scene. It was quiet and I walked down to Wenatchee Avenue, 8 o'clock, mind you, on Halloween night. And I looked this way and I looked that way and I could stand in the middle of the street. No cars, no people, no kids, no party, no lights, lot of nothing. And that was my welcome to Wenatchee. You're not from here, are you?
Well, and part of that I think is probably because so many uh Christian fundamentalists, so many Bible thumpers see Halloween as an evil holiday.
They're scared of the devil,
They don't
who
let their kids dress up. They want them
not even
not
as Mario and Luigi.
not as nothing. Not as nothing. By the way, we should mention that we are Michael Knight and New York Vinnie.
You
He's
can guess
Michael
which.
Knight.
Oh, I wanted him to guess. Well, too late.
Yeah, sorry, I blew it. He's Michael Knight. I'm New York Vinnie. We join you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:10. Why do we join you at 10:10? Because 10 o'clock is taken.
10 o'clock was taken, and it's
Yeah.
always taken. There's always someone there at 10 o'clock.
There's always something going on at 10 o'clock. You tell people 10:10, and many people homage the great WINS in New York.
Except, of course, there's nothing going on at 10 o'clock in Wenatchee, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., or Washtenaw or Pullman. But tonight, hey, in Pullman, we got a
Pullman
party.
tonight, Pullman baby.
Tonight is a big party. It's Colorado Buffaloes visit the Pullman Martin Field. It's still Martin Field, right?
It's Gisa Field now at Martin Stadium, or
Gisa?
Gisa.
Isn't that a noise you make when you step on one of those fart balloons?
No, it's what happens when somebody people forget this, but in the old days there used to be something called goosing. You go up behind somebody and stick your finger,
Give him a goose.
goose.
I'll tell you something about geese. There was two things at the student lake at the University of Miami that you had to keep your eye on. One, there were barracuda in the lake, and you could see them floating on the top with their mouths open, showing you all their teethus. Secondly, there was a family, of goslings and geese, big geese. They have greasy poop. They have a lot of it, and they're territorial to the point where how territorial are they? Well, I walked by them one day and got pecked right in the nards. He just walked right up to me and went boom, and he meant every bit of that motion, and it was intended to be painful and memorable.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
forgot it. If you're a fool, you'll mess with a goose. It's easier to pick up a wolverine than it is to have a conversation with a goose. The goose will win every round.
They are mean animals. They are absolutely mean little birds, whatever they
They're
are.
fearless. They're fearless. They're birds.
Yeah, they're birds, and they don't care.
They don't care about you, the barracuda in the lake, or anything else that's going on.
They're yeah, they're want their territory. They got it, and if you mess with it, you're going to pay.
And they've taken a look at the campus. They said, it's a big university. There's this and there's that, and there's old classrooms and there's new classrooms, but there's only one student lake, and we've taken the lake. We like it.
It's ours.
It's ours. And if you want to come down here and sun yourself, go down there. Go down there and stay away from the rest of the geese, or else there'll be more pecking in the balls for you.
Our cousins are the dinosaurs, and we've been around a while. The dinosaurs.
They're dead, and we're still here.
And they're gone. We stuck around, so we run the place.
We're like white velociraptors with a big beak,
and we are ready to do what we need.
Well, you hurt your knee. Then he hurt his knee over the weekend.
Yeah, I fell and hurt my knee. I had a trip to the emergency room where they, I'm piling up Swedish points.
Did they give you any? Did they take nice pictures? Did they give you a copy?
Took nice pictures. Didn't give me a copy, but they took pictures, and they said that you have besides the injury to your knee, you have degenerative arthritis in your knee.
So that's a knee that's ready to be unhappy. It doesn't want to fall down.
Yeah, that's a needed. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But hey, my problems are my problems, and people that listen to us, are they really caring about our problems?
Well, then back to tonight, the party in Pullman. It's the
Yes, the
Colorado
party in
Buffalo party at
Colorado
Yeah,
and the Pullmans, Colorado and Wazoo.
going to be a
Boy,
good
I tell
game.
you, both schools that had a nice beginning to the season, and all of a sudden have kind of hit the skids a little bit. No,
And Washington State can be a little upset because when the 10 members of the Pac 12 all decided to make other plans and leave the conference, they left behind two schools, Oregon State and Washington State. Washington State went to court and said, if you're leaving the conference, you can't have control of our assets, financial and otherwise. You've left. You don't have a say in that. Washington, the University of Washington, just got a temporary restraining order against that court ruling that said, hold on, we did leave the conference. We left you high and dry. We have a place to play football and you don't. But when you're talking about the assets, financial and otherwise, of the Pac 12, we want our cut too. In fact, we want it as we leave. And we want control and an ability to steer those assets in any direction that we feel fit, even though they're not our assets anymore. They belong to you in Oregon State. Our intention is to stop you from using them until further notice. So the temporary restraining order is in place. Obviously, the judge went to Washington, not Washington State. And that leaves the assets and the future of the Pac-12 assets up in the air.
well, it's interesting because Oregon State and Washington State will now have sole control of the Pac-10, right?
Well, that's what they asserted in court.
Well,
Washington put the brakes on. No other school enjoined with Washington, by the way.
well, right, but it's as I read the story, there was a stay of the decision until Monday. So did they make a decision on Monday? Because they were filing emergency notions and this and that, and that's the last I saw about it. As far as I understood now, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just haven't seen it yet. They are well. I think they're going to wind up going to the Mountain West. Both of them. I think that's what's going to wind up happening, and that's sad because that's goodbye to a great conference. That you really have to be stupid to blow a conference like the Pac 12, 10, 8.
That's exactly the phrase I would use. Yeah, they were stupid.
Yeah,
And they're down. This is mostly over television money and prestige. And the Pac-12 would have had their own television money, except they put together a cable deal that doesn't even work in Los Angeles. I have DirecTV. I can't see Pac-12 television. It's not available. It will not be available. They put together the perfect death package for the conference. That was the start of the spiral. It was the brainchild of the people who run the Pac-12. They should all be drawn and quartered. Their idiocy and incompetence eviscerated the conference, allowed it to go. They had no means to prevent their schools from going where they wanted. They had no means to go back to the beginning and get a television deal that would have been workable and financially viable. They strangled themselves with they hoisted on their own petard is what they've done. And it's ugly to see, but you said they got to be stupid. Yeah, Vinnie, you are right. That's
I don't
exactly what
think
they
there's
were.
and well, no, there's one stupider thing that I saw that I've seen in sports, and that was when everybody decided to jump out of the Big East.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the Big East is a basketball conference much more than it's a football conference, but for money, once again, schools jumped out of the Big East and went to the Big 10 and this 10 and that 12 and this and the Big 10, Big 12, Big 9, Big 8, Big 7, Big 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And solely for money. But what they did is they broke up, or they thought they were going to break up, one of the greatest sporting events in the country, the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. But the Big East said, we're not going to go away. The remaining schools got together. They invited other schools in. And while they don't have Pitt anymore and they don't have Notre Dame anymore, they still have a pretty damn good product. UConn might have left. I forget exactly. But here's my point. And this is always my point with this. These schools are raking in billions of dollars, right? These athletic departments are raking in billions of dollars. They're paying coaches millions of dollars.
Texas A&M is a good example. They just fired their coach with a $67 million guaranteed contract.
How much cheaper is it to go to school today than it was before?
Well, if you're the son of Jimbo, the coach at Texas A&M, it's probably a lot cheaper.
If you said to me, well, we're going to get all the $67 gazillion and we're going to put it in the bank and we're going to drop tuition for everybody, then I'd say, you know what? You got something. If sports pays for kids going to medical school, I'm all for it. I like the idea. If sports pays for kids to go to political science school so they can learn how this freaking country is supposed to run, I'm for it.
And please, from the world of football, the next time you fire somebody like Tommy Tuberville, give them a job somewhere so they don't have to be a senator. Just don't. Well, he was looking for a gig. It turned out the senator was available.
He talked to his buddy Trump, and Trump got him elected. It's the only success story that Trump had. And that's because in Alabama, as we know, football is God. There's church and there's football, and that's it. What the hell else do you have in Alabama?
You have the excuse that only works in Alabama, and it works with the police, it works with the federal authorities. No matter what your crime is, your defense is, I'm sorry, I had too much Bama in me. I just had too much Bama in me that day. Oh.
The only thing you got there besides football and church is the space science.
Astrophysics?
In Birmingham. There's a huge space science center where they figure out rockets and this, and I forget exactly what they call it, but it's in Birmingham. Other than that, nothing in the state. It's a vast wasteland.
And none of those astrophysicists and space doctors and rocket scientists are from Alabama.
Right. They moved to Birmingham. And what those people that you were talking about at the top of the show that are leaving California are going to find out, because they can go to Birmingham and buy a house for $98,000 after they sell their California house for $1 million and have enough to live, is that them people don't like Northerners.
What do they like? What the hell do they like?
Californians.
Do they like potato salad at picnics? What do they like?
Them people like people that look like them.
The immediate genetic change that happens when you move to California is obvious when you move back to Alabama. You don't look like an Alabama guy anymore. Your kids don't look like Alabama kids.
And, you're probably a little taller. You probably gained 3 or 4 inches when you moved to California. You can probably sing 2 or 3 Jackson Browne or Eagles songs, word for word. You know who Tom Waits is. It's a whole vibe, man. It's a groovy vibe.
It's true enough.
Nobody Nobody. I defy you to find me anybody that ever said that Alabama had groovy in it.
Groovy, yeah, we're a little short on groovy. They need some. They just don't have any.
Even the blues musicians that lived in Alabama found their groovy by going up to Chicago.
On Highway
They won't let us
61.
in the same toilets. They won't let us in the same hotels. We're going up to Chicago. We'll find our groovy up there.
And they have snow in Chicago and ice, so you have to
But they
contend with
said
that.
if we can eat in the same restaurant that the white people can eat in, then we'll take a little trudging through the snow. If you give me a job that pays the same thing as a white guy is making, I'll trudge through the snow a little bit.
The bidding has begun in earnest for Shohei Ohtani, and there's a team in the running that doesn't make any sense to me. But apparently, ESPN believes that the Chicago Cubs are taking this hunt seriously. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. ESPN did not list their sources.
Everybody is going to say that they're going after him. I mean, who wants to say that you're not? If you're a major market team now, if you're the Kansas City Royals or the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cleveland Indians, the Cincinnati Reds team, you know that you're not in the race. You're not even close. But if you're a major market city, you better be saying that you're looking into him. Whether you are or you aren't, you still better be saying it. Or else your fans who expect that, you're going to sign him, nobody's going to buy season tickets.
Well, when the season was over for the Giants, they mentioned him, that they were interested in him. But they also obviously are a team that doesn't know how to play hardball. They haven't made any major signings. I would be surprised if they did. Not that I don't want Shohei Ohtani. I think he would be a great fit for the city and for the team. But it's a team that has shown in the past 3 seasons and demonstrably right after Bruce Bochy left that they do not know how to play hardball.
Well, I think that, they're certainly laid back. I mean, they certainly aren't the Giants of the who was the guy that they aggressively went after from Houston, Hunter. The tall, lanky number 8, the tall, lanky outfielder.
Hunter.
Hunter.
I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I know who you mean. They loved him. He's now on the broadcast.
Yeah, well, he got him to the World, helped get him to the World Series. He was the missing piece for them.
Yep.
He was the aggressive piece.
The emotional leader.
He was a guy that a lot of teams covered. I remember, we even were trying to, we knew it was never going to happen. But, even in Pittsburgh, Hunter Pence.
Thank you.
How could you forget that name?
Well, Hunter, please forgive us for forgetting your name. We didn't forget what you did, and you have a lot of jewelry at home as a result of your efforts.
He was a hell of a player. He was he was a guy. He was a clutch player, man.
Yeah,
he came through. For San Francisco and the Phillies and the Astros when he was there, he came through for them.
One guy that's also on Shohei Ohtani's team, Mike Trout, is in play this year. I hope he still has some baseball left in him. He's suffered a lot of injuries the last couple of years, and apparently Philadelphia, the Phillies, are after him. That would be a good. You could put him in right field and let the right fielder, the star, number 3. We can't remember anybody's name today.
Yeah, I'm having memory trouble.
Play first base.
For which team are we talking about?
Phillies.
Oh, that's why nobody will hire us. We can't remember names. We're getting stupid in our old age. Well, not stupid, just forgetful. But I mean, to go back for a second to who is it? Anyway, boy, it annoys me that when I can't remember things like that. What are you looking for it?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Um, Bryce Harper, you talking about?
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could be a. Maybe they could be I mean, listen, the Phillies certainly got the money, and
and they have the team around him.
And he would, yeah, and he would be an addition to that club that would put them over the. I mean, I think put them over the. I mean, I think they're pretty damn close to the top already. But I mean, somebody's going to throw stupid money at him. You hear the rumors that he wants to stay on the West Coast. You hear the rumors that his people in Japan have some kind of influence here. So who knows? Does Ichiro call him up and say, "Hey, you know what? Your best deal is going to be to sign with the Mariners because the marketing and this and that, yada yada, because the Mariners are so popular in Japan." Does that figure into it? The marketing opportunities there, and will the Mariners leadership, the Mariners come up with the kind of money to bring, to bring him up here, and will he like it up here? I mean, he likes it up here as far as he comes up in the summer, with the Angels. But is he going to like the city? Luckily, there's a good international district. There's good. There's a warm precedent. But what are the Dodgers going to do? These teams have the money to sign him. Ohtani will fill the Mariners ballpark every night.
Yep.
Ohtani will, even though he can't pitch this upcoming season,
He
will
can hit.
fill the Dodger Stadium every night. I think the main thing for him, from what I've read, is that he wants to go to a team that can win.
That's you can make the case that wherever he lands, that's the team that can win.
See, I think you got to have pitching. You got to. I think you got to be very close. Now, could you make the case that with an Ohtani, the Mariners would be 5 wins better? How many wins does he deliver to a team?
10.
So he makes the Mariners a legitimate contender. Does he make the Giants a legitimate contender? I mean, again, that's how I look at it. Does he make the team a legitimate contender? I don't know that he makes the Mets a legitimate contender. I mean, it'd be nice to have him, but I don't know that the rest of it is there. I don't know that he makes the Yankees a legitimate contender.
What do you think about the idea that you put Ohtani in place and then you have the attractive lineup that'll bring in further power, further pitching, further.
I don't think there's that many people. I don't know that there's that many great players out there this year. Position players. There's some pitchers uh, that are free agent, but I don't know. I don't know how many super. I don't know if there's any players. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's certainly going to be, but I don't know that there are a ton of players out there right now that you could say, okay, I'm going to go sign with them. Plus, how much are you going to have less because you sign Otani? How much does that say? Okay, I can't sign many other people. I better have a good farm system. I better have a good young pitching staff that I have control over for a number of years. Now, if he was going to come in and pitch the first year,
That would be. Then you have to give the wins closer to 20.
right? That could be on a team like the Mariners. That could be a 15 win, 20 win difference. Maybe not so much, but it'll get you into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs because you'll have pitching. Plus, you're going to have a clubhouse. I mean, you think about the Mariners with Otani out there and Rodriguez in center field and some of the other guys that they have that are coming up and coming along. To me, if I'm Otani, that's what I'm looking at. Where can I go? How old is Otani? I forget. Is he 29, 28?
I don't know his age.
Uh,
But he has surgery every 2 years.
yeah, whether he needs it or not. So, again, you have to think that his clock is ticking as well.
Well, there's a couple contenders that didn't go as far as we thought they would this year in the playoffs. Braves is one of them. The Dodgers are the other.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
we haven't even
Braves,
talked about the Braves. You talk about a guy that you would plug in and we've spoken about this before. The Braves are a team that you plug an Otani into that team,
and they're unstoppable.
and good God, you got something.
But he's got to play in the South. He may not
But
like
yeah,
that.
he's going to be in Atlanta, and he's going to be on closer to the East Coast. Is that what he's going to want to do? I still think a West Coast club has the advantage on him.
So that's the A's, the Giants, the Mariners.
Yeah, the A's, forget about it. I mean, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it's the Mariners, the Giants,
Dodgers.
and the Dodgers, and the Padres. Now, maybe for the Giants, bringing Bob Melvin in. And by the way, congratulations to my good friend Brian Price, who was named the pitching coach of the Giants, who was reunited with Bob Melvin when they were the pitching coach and manager up here. I can't wait to go down to San Francisco and see Brian. We'll go to spring training and see Brian. He's one of the nicest guys. We used to sit in the dugout and have these great conversations about all different kinds of stuff. And he taught me a lot about pitching, about coaching, because he wasn't afraid to answer a question. I could sit there and go, we used to talk, So I'm very excited that he's going there. I think that he's a great handler of young pitchers. I mean, he was the pitching coach for the 116 win season. And I don't know that anybody missed a turn in the rotation that year.
They kept their health and they kept their
They kept their arms,
and
they
their
kept their
energy.
speed, they kept their health. Yes, and he and Rick Griffin, who's the trainer, and Alan Werdler, who was the conditioning coach, did a spectacular job of keeping those guys in shape. And I mean, I was around that team every day.
Who helps the Mariner Moose stay in shape, though?
Excuse me.
Who helps the Mariner Moose stay in shape?
Probably Werdler was his part of his job. The hell do I know? So congratulations to Brian Price for hooking up with Bob Melvin again. I'm very excited about that. Otani, I don't know, Michael. They're keeping it close to the vest. He's a unanimous free agent. How much does unanimous MVP? How much
Yep.
does that add to the
Oh, it
to the
adds.
pot?
It adds to the pot.
How much does that what is it? I mean, these guys are it's a great player. Again, he makes. If I'm him, where can I go to win the quickest? And where can I go to feel at home? Because I think for Japanese players, I think that's part of the equation. I don't think Ichiro would have been as good in Los Angeles or in Kansas City or in or Oakland maybe, but there's something about the West Coast that attracts these guys. And I think again, I think that's a factor for him. I think I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm covering the club every day. I'm just going on what I saw with Ichiro and how he was swept up by the city. How it became a love affair
Yeah. Yes.
between Ichiro, except for one woman who I will never forget. If I live to be 1,000, Ichiro first came over. He comes up. He's with the club. This is 2000 or 2001, 2000, I think. And I see this woman walking in the club seats, the ballpark behind the broadcast booth. There's a hallway back there, and she's got a bandana on, and the bandana says "Remember Pearl Harbor."
That was her welcome to town.
That was her welcome for Ichiro.
So she suspected that he was not from there.
She had an idea. I don't know what kind of idea she had, but I'll never forget that as long as I live, man. Just seeing that and saying, "You racist son." I mean, and again, listen, I can understand if somebody had a loved one that was killed, but in Pearl Harbor, or a grandfather, I can understand there being hard feelings. I can understand there are people that feel like, hey, you know what? But time is supposed to heal wounds.
Also, if you're an ally, you're a friend. The Japanese nation is our ally. They are our
Right.
friends. Yes, we went to war. Check out Europe. How many countries did we fight? And what are they now? They're our closest allies. Germany is a
Exactly.
reliable, daily, friendly nation.
Exactly. It's not the same people running the place.
And do you want more war? Do you just want to fight them again to the
Well,
death?
you want to hate for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Do you want? I mean, listen. My father fought over there. My father fought in the Philippines. Um, I never remember him being hateful toward any Japanese people that we knew or that used to be his customers in the station, in the gas station. I don't remember that. Now maybe I didn't see it. But boy, if you're living if you're holding on to 1942,
Good luck to you.
you're in trouble. There's a whole lot of other people you can start to hate that are way past them. So I don't know. I I I'd like to see Otani go where he'll be happy.
Well, if he goes someplace where he's happy, that increases the chances that I'm going to be unhappy. I want him to go someplace that makes me happy.
Well, yeah, but maybe the Giants will make him happy. Maybe part of bringing in Bob Melvin is a precursor. Listen, Melvin wouldn't have left the Padres and gone to San Francisco if there wasn't some plan there to win. Didn't have to. He could have sat down and, in Southern California,
Lived on Mission Beach.
lived out there and, near San Diego and played out the rest of the Padres will probably go get him a couple of players. So it leads me to think that maybe there's a plan for the Giants. I don't know what their resources are. I don't know how much they can come up with.
Well, you're right. They've got the money. But my plan is twofold. It's Mike Trout in right field and Shohei Ohtani at first base or designated hitter for the next year.
You better stay off of that stuff you're smoking, man.
It's pretty good stuff. And it's legal. And I love walking into a shop
today, are you?
I love walking into the shop on Colorado Boulevard with cash to go and they're taking credit cards now, Vinnie.
Are they?
Yeah,
my shop. Don't take them up here.
My shop is taking cards.
Of federal banking law, which is interesting, unless the law changed. But up here, they wouldn't take them. Matter of fact, it's been a big thing up here because the thieves know that the pot shops are all cash. So they're taking people off.
You gotta have a good security system.
Yeah, well, most of the places you go have a guy with a gun in it. Right. I mean, I don't think I've been to too many pot shops where there hasn't been some huge hulking guy with a large sidearm, which I don't particularly like. But I've been to dealers' houses who've had a shotgun behind the couch.
I want to go to Sean Kim's place and just say, Sativa, top of the line. Gotta go, Sean. Love to stay, love to talk. Gotta go.
Yeah, you haven't been. I gotta go down and see Sean's place. That's I think he's opening up a second one. All right, a couple other things that we should cover, Mikey. The A's.
The A's got the unanimous vote of the baseball owners. The deal was in. They all want to go to Vegas a couple times a year.
Everybody wants to go to Vegas. I mean, does it amaze you as it does me? Now, I lived in Vegas for 6 months, so I know a little bit about the town. I don't want to say I'm an expert on it, but I know enough about Vegas. Does it shock you that this is now like one of the sport capitals of the country? I mean, you got
the Golden Knights.
You got the NHL. You have a football team. You have a WNBA team, which I'm going to count because I think it's a precursor to an NBA team. NBA will be crazy if they don't expand there. You have the A's going. You already got 5 sports. You have Formula One that's making a resurgence. They're there this weekend.
They had to cancel their rehearsal today because of loose
Yeah, loose sewer covers.
Yeah,
Never a good thing to be doing 225 miles an hour over a sewer cover and it flies up.
and have a 150-pound steel lid come following you down the road.
Never a good thing.
You don't want that.
But I guess they got it straightened out, I saw. Um, I mean, you know, uh, one team that we did leave out of the Otani thing was the Diamondbacks. I don't think they're. I would be shocked if they were a player in it.
I agree.
Yeah, I just don't think that they're. Anyway, but I don't know. Do you feel sad for Oakland?
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
feel
do.
sad for the memories. I feel sad for. I'm sure they'll put a minor league. I'm sure that the Sacramento River
River
Cats,
Cats.
is it the River Cats?
Yes.
I'm sure the River Cats will move down there, or they'll put another team in there. A PCL team, which will be sad.
It'd be nice if it was AAA for the A's.
Will it? Will it? I mean, I think it'd be better if it was AAA for the Giants. No.
No, they got San Jose and they got Sacramento. I don't think they need Oakland.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sacramento moves down to Oakland.
So when you get to AAA, you just go across the bridge.
Yeah.
We're not sending you down. We're sending you over to Oakland.
Well, it's like here. When you go to AAA, you go to Tacoma. You especially for rehab and things like that. You can.
We got you an Uber ride.
Yeah.
By the way, you're pitching tonight.
Yeah, you're pitching tonight. I mean, I think it's worked out really well for the Mariners. I certainly know that it's helped their attendance because before they were the Mariners Farm Club, they were the Giants Farm Club.
Right.
The Tacoma, what were they? The Tacoma Tides, right? Or no, Tigers. Tacoma Tigers. So I think that I think people in Oakland, and I don't know, I haven't talked to my ex-wife yet about this. I texted her yesterday with my condolences. Number two, ex-wife. I just think that it's going to hurt people too much to have the A's farm system there. They'll be too pissed off. They'll be too. I don't know how they can be because, good Lord, they had enough time to build a stadium or do something.
Well, they never took it seriously.
Well, they got screwed by Al Davis. Let's face it. They took the ballpark and they put that monstrosity in center field where you could have taken that ballpark like they did in Kansas City and reconfigured it and played with it and made it a better ballpark.
Yeah.
But once you put Mount Davis out there, it was a mausoleum. You changed the entire makeup of the stadium.
And it was not a good ballpark under any conditions. So you don't really want your AAA team down there blowing out their knees on the strange Oakland grass.
Right. Well, not only that, I mean, you have those humongous foul territories. So maybe I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do now that there's talk. I guess that they're going to build a big entertainment complex there, and that would lead me to believe that they'll try to attract a AAA team. I hope they do, but again, I mean, listen, Oakland has more problems than losing a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they got a lot to fix there. and it's sad because you and I both have an affinity for Oakland.
I was born in Oakland,
Yes, that's right. I forgot that.
Peralta Hospital.
Even when I first got to Oakland, it was still a cool place.
The only cool thing about Oakland now is the Zimmermans live there. Well, Kent does.
Yeah. I mean, Oakland was cool. I mean, I used to be up in the Rockridge district, and you know, and what's the other Rockridge? And there's the what's the right by 13? I forget the name of that. What Krogan's was? I forget the name of the neighborhood there, but it was beautiful. Then
Yeah.
I had the Oakland fire, and that really kind of screwed things up. But there were great little neighborhoods in Oakland, as long as you didn't go, you know, too far down, you were okay. And even if you weren't far down,
And don't forget Emeryville, home of the blues.
yeah. And we used to. In fact, I remember when we started doing the Gary Payton show, that we always talked about the taco truck that used to be on East 14th.
And Spenger's Fish Grotto.
Yeah, which I believe is still there.
I don't think so. I think it's gone now.
The one
I hope I'm wrong.
I thought it was still there. The last time I was down there, I thought I passed it. Maybe who knows? I can't remember who the first baseman is for the Phillies, so don't mind
It used
me.
to be Bryce Harper. We don't know who it is today.
Yeah. Oh, well, brother.
Vinnie, I'm going to have to go, but I wanted to talk about your show before we left.
Yes, let's talk about it. We will be live tomorrow at the Seattle International Auto Show. We're going to do the radio hour, and then we're going to do another half hour on top of that. We'll be looking at the cool cars that are there, obviously. Talk about electric cars, which is, obviously what all the dealers are pushing. And I love the auto show. I was there yesterday, walked through it, saw the brand new Honda Prologue, which is Honda's first electric car, and I think is going to be huge for them.
Wow.
And we'll be having fun. You know me, Michael. I love doing live remotes.
Starting at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
8 o'clock in the morning, come hell or high water, we'll be there.
Have a good show, Vin. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'll see you on Monday.
Mikey, I love you, pal. I'll see you on Monday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise.
Anything about wine you want to say?
Peace, love, and Manischewitz.
We could use a little peace, love, and Manischewitz right now. See you, Ben.
You ain't kidding. All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.